for cover. I think in the inside of the squad we have for the actual All Blacks at the moment, as opposed to the 15 to the second team, there's enough cattle there to do the job. It's just getting the right combinations.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of the first guys weren't playing last night that we'll see against South Africa and in the bigger games going forward this year. But it was good to see the physicality return. Like, it was noticeable how physical Sam Cane was, not just during the match, but afterwards with the pitch invader. And did you hear about it? He cooked him up pretty good. He might be in a bit of trouble. But, if you come on the pitch and you deserve what you get, I reckon. So if you get spear tackled, you get spear tackled. I think the guys are there in that squad that these are the guys we're gonna have to take through. There's not probably Narawa and Stevenson and Roygaard will be the three that are gonna look for the a bit of fresh blood through this year.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I don't know whether I think we've got 5 different countries here. Just a quick round, percentage-wise, what do you think of winning the World Cup for your squad? Noel?
Well, I say semi-finals.
Nick?
I think the draw that we've got will get us at least to the quarters. We've got a good side of the draw, mate. And we could slip into the semis. But as we say in my neck of the woods, it'll get pretty fair income after that. So I can see us making quarters, semis.
Fili?
We'll aim for the quarterfinals. But we'll have to see it because it's Simon, it's a new head coach. We'll see. Yeah, we'll have to see. But to win the World Cup,
awesome.
25%. Honestly.
Reach for the stars, mate. Hamish?
Oh, you know where I'm at. We talked about it a couple of months ago. We'll win this World Cup. Either ourselves or France will win it. So, yeah. Ireland will be on the beach by semi-final time.
Let's for posterity, we'll record this. And, I'll see if I can find a Frenchman or an Irishman to join us. Come the next time we catch up.
Not an area.
I just put this on mute.
Yeah. So let's quickly jump into Super Rugby. Hamish, thoughts on the Crusaders' journey through to the final, because it was a pretty epic season.
Yeah, I think it was probably one of their best. Like they had so many injuries, just so many injuries, and first choice guys away, and they just kept stepping up, which I guess we all have a bit of a flavour for with our course we did with the Crusaders. And I think the way they grow their people so that guys out injured, the next guy comes in and he's confident and comfortable in his own skin to do that, to do his job, play his game. And I think that was pretty impressive, really. I think it was one of the most impressive campaigns, given the number of people they use. It'll be a massive team photo, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I think from a Chiefs point of view, a couple of seasons ago, they'd lost every game they played during the season. And they've got a young squad and kept stepping up and kept learning. Clayton McMillan's done a really good job from a coaching point of view, which was, I think he's the only one who hasn't played top-level rugby as well. So for him, his pathways, he's now in Japan with Leon McDonald. And they've got a lot of guys, like a few teams, guys moving on. But some of the younger ones will be coming through to, look to continue to step up, and sort of balancing old and new through the season and giving guys rugby was really good. I think from a Chiefs point of view, their defence this season has been really, really solid, which I've never seen before. It's been a lot more quicker, a lot urgent, a lot more mongrel. So we'll see how we go next season. But from a Chiefs fan, disappointing to lose the final. Really happy to make the final, but probably one of the best finals that I've seen for a long time as well. and worthy winners were the Crusaders overall. Well done. Nick, your thoughts on the Reds and sort of summary of the season, what you expect next season, and how everybody would have felt with, and especially with Brad Thorne leaving and who's going to be coming in, etc.
If we get a bit of license, boys, you might know I did a little bit of writing for Rugby Pass, and one of the things we had to do was predict this year's Super Rugby, and I said, you can verify it in the article, I said it will be a Chiefs Crusaders final, and the Crusaders would win. So not too bad for a bloke from the other side of the ditch to pick that, I would suggest. But I did say that I thought Auckland, their opportunity was last year, and I still think they're an exceptionally good team. And I didn't think Wellington would go as well as they did. It's a credit to those guys, but it's such a vacuum now is created in that space over there. But I don't know. It's easy for us as guys who have attended the Crusaders, one of the Crusaders course. But it's a hard thing to put your finger on. Having understood that system, that they were just going to turn up, and having watched the Crusaders over the years, and even when the Reds beat them in 2011, and the guys from Canterbury were getting over their earthquake, and we had our floods here in Brisbane, and both teams just had they were playing for their people, had so much to play for. And I just think the adversity of coming back from Africa in 2011 was a little bridge too far for them. But there's something in the water down there. These guys turn up for their people, they turn up for each other, and it's just getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And so that's why I would never knock back them. I just want to share that with you. Locally, pretty grateful for the time that Brad Thorne has put into Queensland rugby. I'm not too sure if putting the soul back into Queensland rugby is the right way of putting it, but he certainly put some backbone back into it. And not saying that his predecessors didn't try and weren't good people, but just the character that he is, for whatever rugby nuances he may not have, he was open about that. And I thought he was the right guy at the right time for Queensland, and I think we should be looking to springboard off what Brad has established and go from there. And it appears that Les Kiss, a former State of Origin player who's obviously been spending a lot of time in the Northern Hemisphere, at Ulster and various other, he's been involved with the Irish setup for some time. The word on the strasse is that he's going to be the man, and in terms of what we agreed to. So
it was on social media over here saying they've signed him.
Yeah.
So that will be welcomed, because without undue criticism, we probably need that European influence coming into certain aspects of our game. That IP just isn't being circulated through the Australian game. So if an Australian can bring back something from Europe, which ironically Irish rugby has had a lot of Australian influence in it, through the likes of David Nucifora and Les Kiss, Alan Gaffney, players, coaches like that who have been involved over there. To bring it back home, I think that will be a positive step, but build on the bedrock that Thorny's kind of put in there. I don't think we'll be playing semi-finals rugby for maybe 3 years, to be perfectly honest with you. That's Queensland, that is. It's just going to be some serious rebuilding and some serious look at some pathway identification and development. But I think they'll get it right. I think Les Kiss will be the right guy, not because I'm hoping he's going to be. He's coming out of this Irish system that has proven to be so successful, but it's just going to take time. And I think at Rugby Australia, with Hamish McLennan definitely looking to make change. Phil Ward's coming as a CEO, and during the week, Adrian Thompson, who's been the head of high performance for a long, long time, was moved on. So they're quite serious about change. I'm certainly not saying Adrian did a bad job, but they've obviously sought to make change. And there's been an observation or chatter amongst the Australian rugby fraternity at many levels that it just seems to be the same people being recycled through the system, popping up in different roles or whatever. And we're desperately in need of fresh thinking. And Thorny's a New Zealander, but he's also one of us. So it didn't feel like a foreign coach. I'm not adverse to foreign coaches, but if we can get Aussie coaches back here with foreign experience and mix that in with the likes of, say, Nick Heenan, who's come through the Brisbane club rugby system, who's a fantastic coach, but he needs to be upskilled in a sense to that next level. But he really knows how the club system works here in Brisbane. And Darren Coleman came through the Waratahs in that same way. And I thought the Waratahs were better this year. So how that goes with the other provinces, I'm not 100% sure, but certainly the idea of letting these good local coaches come through the system and bringing this IP back from abroad, I only think that's going to, in the long-term structure, will get us somewhere positive, but it's going to take time to get there. It's the end. It's a World Cup cycle, so a lot of guys will get flushed out of the system, so to speak, and go to France, go to Japan, go to Europe, go to Major League Rugby, wherever it may be, and a lot of young guys will come through, and we'll see how they develop. But ultimately, I think we're heading in the right direction, but it's not going to be. They're talking about golden decades and golden eras of Australian rugby. It's a fantastic concept. It's a fantastic goal to have. It's a bit abstract, but the nice thing the positive thing is they are making structural change and starting to get in the right people in some good areas and bringing people through. Because previously the professional game and the community game was so dislocated, and it got to a point where people went to club rugby, couldn't give a damn about Super Rugby because they just, well, what is that? There was no affiliation to it whatsoever. And you'd want to get home and watch the Crusaders play the Chiefs. And then if the Force were playing the Rebels, you'd put on the Rugby League. That's just the reality of it. So we've got some work to do, but the work's begun.
Excellent. Great. Fili, what about the Drua? Your thoughts on this season?
It was a really good season. Really, really, really good. It really highlighted to me personally what a really good coach Mick Byrne and his team have done. A good work they've done, because it's just our second season, and with all the obstacles he has to face, in terms of the boys that he gets, the talent that he gets, and the team that he has to put out, we were able to make the quarterfinals. So it's really good. It's been so going forward. I'd love to. If I was in charge, I'd love to see me go and become the coach of the Flying Fijians from next year, because he's done such a good job in terms of trying to put together our flair and trying to work with the resources that we have up front in terms of our forwards. So ideally, what the Drua did was, if you open up the game, they'll cut you up. Yeah. If you turned over ball, and that was from the coaching that was given to them, that amplified the natural talent, eye for space, the pace, natural speed, offloading ability, natural talent that we already possessed. But now going forward, the obstacle is to get our forwards up to par with those of Super Rugby level, because now we have a foot in the door of Super Rugby. So that's the only way forward for my beloved country, to compete at the world stages, to get our forwards playing forwards. So I'm very adamant on that whenever I coach my club, is that